This is a short documentary film on Maven, a graphic design agency based within Edinburgh College of Art. The story so far.
So why the name Maven?
Well, we chose the name Maven because it means an expert in a particular field, and also someone who wants to pass on knowledge to others, so we wanted to sort of replicate that within the agency.
We chose the Pantone symbol from Illustrator as our logo, and we chose this just simply to emphasize this idea of an expert within a field, to represent our company, basically.
And we used that as our advertising to get job interviews. We decided to use business cards on a more personal level to send to them, and we believe that it was a success, but unfortunately the other agency bombarded everyone with so much advertising that we feel that it didn't get its recognition.
The second and third years had to pose as junior and senior designers and apply for jobs within an agency. Maven only received 3 applicants and so had to headhunt, which resulted in 12 interviews. After designers had been appointed to their agencies, Maven held their first meeting.
What were your first impressions of the agency as a whole?
I thought the agency was very structured, very organised. Seemed quite a friendly bunch of people. Seemed to really care for the future employees.
Yeah, everyone was very nice, very
And how has the agency changed now?
I think it's just probably evolved from that kind of first day. Everybody's got to know each other and you feel like everything kind of gels. And how everything kind of works together. You don't feel like you couldn't really speak to anybody. I could speak to Elsa about projects and get her feedback.
Quite early on, Maven received a resignation from one of their junior designers, Orlando Lloyd.
How did you deal with Orlando Clinton?
I think you handled that quite well.
Yeah, well, we got an email from his letter of resignation, which was a surprise because we had no idea that he wanted to resign. So we went to see Lindsay Miller in Human Resources, and she advised us that the best thing to do would just be to let him go, maybe ask for a bit of feedback from him, but we didn't get any. And we learned from that it would be a good idea to write up some contracts so that the same thing wouldn't happen again. So that's something we've learned from that experience.
Yeah, just so that everyone's on the same page with things and the same kind of standard is wanted from everyone. And it's much more clear now what to do, in this similar situation in the future.
Maven were confronted with their first challenge when they had to design a board to advertise themselves to new students attending the college's open day.
With the agency board, did you have a clear understanding of what you were about as an agency?
At the beginning, we found that with our first project that we undertook, we asked our tutor, Mike, what he thought, and he basically gave us the feedback of, you don't know yourselves as an agency.
We had to sort of readdress ourselves and really think about what we were about, and we learned that rather than being experts in our particular field, we wanted to be experts, and that's sort of our theme that we sort of learned together. And so after that we went back to Mike Inglis and showed him our board, and he thought that it was much clearer what we were about, and he understood us a lot better.
What was your final solution for the board?
It was just basically to illustrate the creative process that an individual within graphics would experience day to day within a series of projects. And it was basically to show that you don't always arrive at the idea, the final outcome in one go. You have to go through various processes of evaluation, maybe a couple of hiccups, maybe a couple of failures, and then eventually get there to something that looks pretty good.
Yeah. And no matter what you have to go through, we still love what we do.
Yeah.
The first brief Maven appointed to its designers was called Word Association and consisted of forming links between random words.
Did you feel it was a challenging brief, the Word Association project?
I wouldn't say it was really challenging. Just a good way to start us off.
It was quite light-hearted, a good way to sort of see how quickly we could generate ideas and then discuss them together. And it was nice that we all sort of had that opportunity to meet and sort of discuss the ideas and get to know each other.
You try, yeah. It was a good one to start as well. But yeah, it's a gel as a group. Think about what each other was like.
Yeah, because initially we weren't asked to actually produce any sort of final piece, we were just asked to come up with the ideas, and then we developed it into a final piece at the end.
The creative directors worked on a brief which was to create the promotion for the college's annual fashion show.
What was the ideas for the fashion project?
Well, our concept was that we wanted to tie in the 3 disciplines within the fashion department, so it was fashion, textiles and costume. And we thought that the one thing that tied them all together was that they all display their work on a model. So we wanted to look at the model as a sort of blank canvas. And so we did a couple of photo shoots that sort of involved the model kind of breaking free from the blank canvas to sort of show that all the students' ideas would be sort of displayed at the fashion show, and that obviously nobody would know what it was going to be before the fashion show, but at the fashion show the ideas would be revealed.
What was the best part of it? During it?
It was a good opportunity to pitch.
Yeah, it was a good thing for experience, and then also planning and how you set up a photo shoot and how important your location, lighting, props, everything can be to contributing towards the final product.
After the crit, we went back to the fashion department to show the second phase of our project, and it was really a good opportunity to just learn how to deal with the client and wanting to take that extra step to meet their needs and really show them what we can do as an agency.
Yeah, and the client appreciates that, and sort of in the real world, that's how you'd win a client by going that extra mile.
Yeah.
Each agency was paired with an outside design agency mentor. Maven were paired with David Arneal, creative director of H&A Graphics.
What is the relationship with the mentor?
Well, I think a relationship with David's pretty good. Obviously, we'd like to see him more and be able to share some of our projects with him quite a bit more.
Yeah.
We'd like to, but we understand time is a factor. That plays quite a big role.
But when we do see him, he seems really enthusiastic about what we're doing, and is always full of lots of really useful information. He's talked us through the sort of beginnings of a project that he's just started, and sort of explained how he sort of deals with the client, and he sort of said to us that he'll keep talking us through the project as it progresses, which is really good because otherwise you don't really see much of how the real world works. So it's really good that he's sort of letting us see that.
Yeah, he had really good information to give us about how he deals with his clients and how he shows them his point of view and why things should be done this way and maybe not the way that they thought originally.
Creative director Jen set a brief before Christmas to make the Comic Sans typeface look beautiful.
So what was your feelings towards your Comic Sans brief? Did you like anything in particular of the brief?
Well, at first I thought it was really boring, but after doing loads of research into how much people hated Comic Sans, I thought it would be quite interesting to see how I could make it look better or make it more positive.
Wouldn't you agree? Yeah, I think it's quite a controversial subject.
I think maybe you should just leave it alone. It's been done to the death, and there's been enough irony about it as well. Everyone's totally bored of it.
I think if you hate it that much, just create a typeface that you think's better.
I don't think people hate it anyway. I think people love it. It's trendy to hate it if you're a graphic design student in London, I think, along with 80s stuff.
We've done pretty well considering we were sort of slapped together.
Yeah, we sort of threw together.
Yeah. I mean, we haven't had any arguments.
Not yet.
Not yet. still like bounce ideas off each other. And we may take a while to decide, but we do get there in the end.
Yeah, that's something to
Eventually.
work on. Is sort of making our initial process a bit faster.
Evaluating ideas there.
And obviously, like gradually, we're getting to know our second and third years better. So hopefully we'll be able to do a few more kind of team building exercises.
Yeah.
So spend a bit more time doing it.
So, talk to me about the blog.
I think the blog's quite a good piece of interactive design that we have, because we can showcase like all our work, the other projects, and we can also put stuff up that influences. And everybody puts up different things, so
Yeah, people can put up like clips on YouTube and pieces of art that they found, which is really inspiring for us. So we get to talk about loads of different ideas on, even if it doesn't relate to a certain project. It's
Still
useful.
important, yeah, to share. Maven look forward to the coming semester to get stuck into a new brief set by mentor David Arniel.
And what's next for Maven? What's the upcoming projects?
Well, we are currently waiting on a brief from David. It's a green and blacks brief that for YCM that he's going to rewrite for us in a more sort of real life way, and he's going to give us a budget and stuff so that we can practice doing paperwork.
Yeah, it's really good. He's making it more business marketed,
More like a live.
live brief, which is brilliant, and I think that's one of the best parts of being connected with this agency, is that they're really making us think about what would happen in the future.